Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you. It always is. I hope you're doing well. We move into day 2 over in the Winston Salem. As always, we'll be going through each and every one of these matches that we've got for today. Be sure to get your comments in with your predictions. If there's anything that I'm going for personally, it'll always be in that pinned comment. Feel free to take a look at that. You can take it if you want, leave it if you must. It is entirely up to you. And before we get started, like the video if you'd be so kind. Get yourself subscribed to the channel too if you're not already. It'd be an honour to welcome you to the team. We do continue to grow each and every day. Do me the favour, do yourself the favour. I'm very well. Now all that is out the way. How did we manage in day 1? Did we enjoy the matches? Yes, no. Did we win? Did we lose? Did we just come close? Couldn't have been any easier. For me personally, Pablo Carreño Busta to beat Nishioka, easy, light work. I mean, considering the price on that, I'm not going to say I was surprised and how the result went, but I mean, what are you going to say? 1.9, I'll take that. Absolutely, seemed like an absolute steal looking back on that one. But make sure you get yourself involved, share with the group, don't be shy, and we shall get right down to business. Let's get it on. So I figured we'd just mention this one really quick before we get into the Winston Salem. So it is the final tonight, folks. We've got Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz, the big one. I imagine we're all very, very excited for that. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I mean, this is anyone's, innit? It could really be anyone. You could sit here and go round and round in circles on this one for hours, and the result will always remain the same. It's always anyone's. Jannik Sinner coming into this as quite a big favourite indeed, 1.5 to 1.6. I mean, providing you're all in on Jannik Sinner, that is the sweetest price you're probably ever going to get him at. 1.6, it's usually 1.06, but even better, I mean, Carlos Alcaraz 2.5. 2.5 in this one today. You know, considering these matches, well, I say considering these matches, I'm going to say they're usually close, but if you look at the head-to-head, 9-6 to the Spaniard. We know Sinner did beat him in Wimbledon most recently, but then Alcaraz did beat him in the French Open, and what a match that was. That was probably the best match all season, right? Hands down. It was probably one of the best matches you've ever seen in your life, if you think about it. And then Alcaraz did beat him in Rome, twice on the clay, and then the win on the grass for Jannik Sinner. Alcaraz did beat him last time on the hard court last year in Beijing. He beat him twice, but then Sinner did beat him twice too, just the year before that. It's very give and take. Very give and take. More often than not, we see these guys play each other in the slams. Well, more and more as the years get on. It's finals or titles for either one of these, innit? We were speaking about it the other day, even still. The level of these two compared to even like 3rd and 4th in the world is astronomical. It's unbelievable how good the pair of these are. Jannik Sinner on the hard court is a fucking nightmare. Is an absolute nightmare for anyone. I can't even remember the last time he got beat on the hard court. Did anyone? I haven't got it in front of me, but if anyone knows, or if anyone can find out, please do let me know. I'd be willing to say, yeah, he's been 12-0 this year, and he's missed most of it. He only played the Australian Open in Cincinnati. So he's unbeaten this year. I'd like to know what it was going back to last year too. He did win the title in Cincinnati last season, so I don't know, there is that. 1.5? I don't really know what I expected regarding odds on this. I think what we've seen so far this week, I would have to say Jannik Sinner has been, if anything, just a little bit more solid. If not, a lot more solid. Yet to drop his serve. He's barely been broke as well. I think he's dropped his serve, like 3 times? 2 or 3 times all week. I mean, Alcaraz has been flying through as well, but he has dropped 2 sets, you know. There's been times in these matches, and we see it a few, don't we? We see it with Alcaraz, he tends to lose focus every now and then. The level can, I'm not going to say drop, because even when he's not playing his best, it's still a lot better than what everyone else has got, but kind of gets complacent sometimes. Dropping his set to Damir Djuma, dropping his set to Rublev. He had a very close game with Andrei Rublev, you know. But then the game against Zverev, he turned up and looked fantastic. I don't know. You're splitting hairs with the two here. There's not much to separate the two of them. The surface may just come into play. I think Jannik Sinner on the hard court may just be the one for me in this. I wouldn't say I'm not picking it with a lot of conviction. I think what I've seen from Jannik Sinner this week has been a little bit more, I'd say a little bit more impressive. If I can even say that, I don't know. I mean, Alcaraz getting past Rublev and Zverev. Jannik Sinner's played what? Daniel Galan, Diallo, Manarino, Felix and Terence Atman. You take from that what you will. Maybe Alcaraz has had the better run over in Cincinnati. It's certainly been a little bit tougher on Alcaraz, I'll say that. I thought Terence Atman played good against Jannik Sinner. Did anyone we forgot to mention? I don't think we've spoke about it since. I did think Terence Atman put in a decent shift against Jannik Sinner, kept it as close as pretty much he was going to keep it really. And I'd want to go with Jannik Sinner. I'd kind of want to go with Jannik Sinner, but this is the predicament you're in. It's always a double-edged sword when you're dealing with these two guys, and when they're playing with each other. Like I said, it's anyone's. It's anyone's. Look at that French Open. Look what happened in that French Open. If Alcaraz can come back and win that against Jannik Sinner, you'd fancy him to beat him pretty much anywhere from any position, wouldn't you? I know this is a best of three, kind of narrows things down a little bit, but maybe lean towards an over. If they're that good and they're going to struggle with each other that much, maybe it's just going to come down to who serves the best. And if they can both serve really good, which they have been doing so far this week, I would imagine this one goes over. Probably get a tiebreak. It's the best in the world going against the best in the world. Going off what the head-to-head would suggest, you'd probably say Alcaraz probably gets this one done. But I don't know. Sinner 1.5. Is there a reason behind that? Maybe. But we sure will see. I hope you enjoy it anyway. I can't wait to watch that. Cannot wait. Right, first off, today we've got Hugo Gaston and Martin Fuscovics. I would have to go with Martin Fuscovics in that one. Absolutely. I've seen nothing from Hugo Gaston pretty much all season. Nothing to suggest he's going to turn up and take out the likes of Martin Fuscovics on the hard court. Gaston's went 6 and 14 on the clay, which is, some would say, his preferred surface, and then 9 and 10 on the hard court. Martin Fuscovics, 10 and 3 on the hard court. That is most definitely a lot better than what Gaston has managed to put together, but we haven't seen him since Feb, very start of the season, and I'll just remind you, the majority of them, the vast majority, come on the Challenger Tour. He did win a title on the Challenger Tour on the hard court, but then the rest of them are qualifying matches. Not a single win on the surface in the main draw. That may come as a slight concern to some of you, absolutely, but I think this is just one of them matches. You know me, Hugo Gaston, I never tend to do any business where this guy is involved. What is the price on this, you may ask? 1.45 for Martin Fuscovics. It's a little bit steep. I don't know if I'm brave enough to go for that. It's an okay parlay piece. I can't see him getting beat. This would be a bit of an upset, in my opinion, if Hugo Gaston was just going to turn up and take out the likes of him. I can't see it personally. He's won 2 games since the French Open. Since the start of the French Open, one against Singh and one against Matteo Bellucci, because Bellucci had to pull out. It just ain't working. And it doesn't really matter where you take him, who you put him up against. Hugo Gaston is really, really struggling at the moment. Although, like I said, it's been quite some time since I've seen Martin Fuscovics play on the hard court, and even when we did, it weren't exactly nothing to write home about. He's much more suitable to the surface, dare I say, a lot more trustworthy on the day. It'd be Fuscovics or nothing in that one for me. And then we've got Roman Safiullin and Christopher O'Connell. Oh, what a nightmare. This should be good. It should be entertaining at least. I suppose that's the least we could ask for, right? Played each other once, 2017. That did go the way of Roman Safiullin on the clay, 6-2, 6-2. God, that feels like a lifetime ago. It really does. Look, not a lot to go off in this one. Not a lot to go off. I'd say both of them bang out of form. Neither one of them have managed to find a bit of form this season. Both winning 3 of the last 10. Look, for what it's worth, Safiullin's beat Alexander Muller, Hugo Blanch, and then Alejandro Tabilo in Cincinnati last week. Christopher O'Connell, James Duckworth, Seng, and then the win against Stefanos Tsitsipas over in Toronto. Like I said, not much to go off, but if we're comparing the wins out of the last 10, if it's not by much, I know Tsitsipas ain't half the guy he used to be, especially not half the man we expect to see anyway. Maybe Christopher O'Connell's just about got the better win out of the three. Maybe just about. Doesn't really hold much weight. But I mean, what are you going to do in this? What are we to do with the pair of these? 12 and 18 for Roman Safiullin on the season. 16 and 21 for Christopher O'Connell. Now, I don't know about you. I probably would have said, even if it's not by much, I think Christopher O'Connell on the day can probably deliver the exact same, if not a little bit more, than what Roman Safiullin can on the surface. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm just saying. There's probably not a lot to split the two, providing we were to get the best version of the pair of them. 12 and 8 on the surface for the Australian, and then 8 and 10 for Roman Safiullin. Tough. Like I say, neither one have managed to pick up any steam so far this season, and we're halfway through August, so the clock's definitely ticking. It's not too late for them to string together a nice couple of wins, but I mean, how much do you expect? How much do you expect from either one of these? They either turn up and play really good, or they turn up and play really shit. We could be in for a bit of a long one. I'd probably lean towards an over. What is the price, Roman Safiullin? 1.45? No, I think it may be a little bit closer than that. I think Christopher O'Connell is a little bit better than a 2.7 dog in this one. Lean towards O'Connell for the set. Like I say, I'm not picking it with a lot of conviction, but I don't really agree. Kind of have to disagree with Roman Safiullin around 1.45. Don't know how I feel about that. O'Connell for the set. Lean towards an over. Just bite the bullet and see how it goes with that one, I suppose. Who's next? Who have we got next? Alexander Kovacevic and Filip Mislic. It's got to be Kovacevic, right? It's not just me. Anyone else? Any takers on Alexander Kovacevic today? I am aware he is on a 3-game losing streak. Just hasn't really managed to recapture the form of Los Cabos, has he? He was fantastic over there, got to the final, won his next match against Quinton Hallis over in Washington, got beat by Big Foe. Had a decent match against him too. But then he's just been beat by Tristan Boyer, straight sets over in Toronto, and then the game against Majchrzak in Cincinnati, and he got fucking beasted by him too. Cause for concern? Maybe. Has he just dipped out of form? Was he just overperforming in Mexico? I'm not too sure. I'll let you be the judge of that. Filip Mislic has had one hell of a season. We can all agree on that. One hell of a season. 51 wins, 18 losses. Jesus Christ. Admittingly, the majority of them, coming on the clay, does most of the damage. Over on the dirt, 36 and 11 on the clay, 8 and 3 on the hard court. That's all right. We're comparing it to the clay. It's night and day. This lad most definitely prefers the slower surfaces. Most definitely opts for the clay court. 8 and 3 is probably, well, it is most definitely. It's a fact. It's the best he's ever done so far in his career on the hard court. 1 and 4 last year, 6 and 9 before that, 5 and 4. As you can see, not much of a hard court specialist. 21 and 23 in the career. 177, 84 on the clay for Mislic. So there you go. Surely that tells you a small tale within itself. And then as for Kovacevic, it's the exact opposite. All this guy really does is thrive on the hard court, on the quick conditions. Doesn't really do much. Doesn't really do anything on anywhere else. Has to be hard court or nothing for Kovacevic. What is the price? 1.7. Now I get it. Like I said, the losing streak, it is kind of concerning. Maybe that is factoring into play here just a little bit. But if we're comparing, the hard court abilities, especially on what we've seen and what we know, I would have to go with Alexander Kovacevic in this one. If he can manage to snap back into a bit of the form that he found over in Mexico, I think it'll be curtains for Filip Mislic. He was decent on the clay. To say he was decent on the clay is a bit of an understatement. Like I've just said, he was fantastic overall on the clay. But when we was watching him over in Bastad and whatnot in Kitzbühel, he was decent enough. But I fear whatever he may be able to offer on the dirt, it may not be enough over on the hard courts against Kovacevic. I don't know. I could be wrong. 1.7, that seems a little bit too good to be true. I seen this and straight off the bat I thought, oh yeah, Kovacevic all day. This is the bounce back, as Will Smith says. Something's putting me off. I don't know what it is. 1.7, you could just shorten it down, simplify it, take him for a set. Given what we've seen and what we know, I would have to go with Alexander Kovacevic, given the circumstances today, folks. So you'll let me know what you think on that. And then who is next? Got Comesana and Matteo Bellucci. Should be a good one. I mean, these tend to be quite exciting when Matteo Bellucci is involved. Am I wrong? Look, I was just about to come into this one and be like, Matteo Bellucci's been bang out of form all season, and he has. That's a fact. He has most definitely been struggling all year round. Up until very recently, he's just won a title over on the Challenger Tour on the hard court. Shevchenko did have to pull out in the final. It's quite a shame, but it is what it is. Say what you want. Title on the hard court for Matteo Bellucci. He enters the Winston Salem in a nice bit of form. Probably the best, most definitely the best bit of form that I can remember seeing him in anyway. 6 and 9, hard court, 20 and 24. Like I said, ain't been too great up until now for the Italian. Comesana, I mean, he's been playing good too. I was rather impressed with Comesana over in Cincinnati. He took out Jaume Munar. Say he took out Darderi. Darderi pretty much took himself out of that one. And then the game against Ralia Pelka. Nice performance. And then it all come crumbling down against Andrei Rublev in the round of 16. But apart from that, since we've come back to the hardcore, Comesana has won 4 matches and lost 2. So he's been playing good too. No secret to us, he most definitely prefers the clay court. So I never really know how much to expect from Comesana on the hard court. If I'm going off what we seen last week in the Masters, I thought he served really well. He served very well. Look, he's a decent player as well. He's just not much of a hardcore player whatsoever. Matteo Bellucci, I mean, it seems to be 100 mile an hour with this guy. The title that he's just claimed over on the Challenger Tour has kind of skewed the path for me a little bit. It really has. But what I can say is this, I mean, without spending too much time on it and overthinking it, I feel like these Bellucci games, they tend to be 100 mile an hour, don't they? It's all or nothing. It's straight sets or nothing. He does possess a very aggressive style. Some may say he's probably a little bit more suited to the quicker courts and the hard courts than, let's say, a Comesana. And I probably couldn't disagree with you. But more often than not, up until lately, like I've just been saying, I see Matteo Bellucci's game plan work against him. The aggressiveness, the pace of it and whatnot. That hasn't been the case last week. Maybe you can ride off the back of the form, come into this one, take out Comesana. I probably wouldn't be that surprised, if I'm being honest with you. Odds are very close. You'd are getting the Argentine around 1.7. I am very, very split on this one, very torn between the two. I would love to say it'd be close because I can't separate them, but the fact is I don't think it will. Either one of these in straight sets would be my opinion on this. I think Bellucci either comes out and just fucking pushes him off the court with the pace, or Comesana remains very strong behind the serve and Bellucci reverts back to old ways and ends up just doing himself in. You know what I mean? The errors start to creep in, tends to get more and more aggressive, starts chasing winners. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right, so we've got a few more. Next up, we've got Rafael Collignon, Mosaic, Basavareddy. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I suppose I would have to go with Mosaic in this one. He's been struggling all season. It wasn't that long ago when we were in Los Cabos and then Adam Walton sent him back down to the Challenger Tour, where he went 2-2. But since coming back, he's went 3-1. Happy days. And you know what? He looked decent. I'll give him that. He looked really good over in qualifying for the Winston Salem. Rafael Collignon. I mean, we know this guy. He's decent. He's decent. I mean, he's more suited to the clay. 19-10 this year, 50-8 last season on the clay. But this year on the hard court, 0-2. 9-3 indoors. He did get himself a title at the start of the season indoors on the Challenger, and then got to another final just after that. So it's something. It's not a lot, but it is something. Maybe Nishesh has just snapped into a little bit of form. Maybe he's found what he's been looking for. Couldn't have come at a better time. I mean, midway through August, he's been needing wins, to say the least. 20-19. He's pretty much only just scraped that back since we've come back onto the hard court, I'd say. I would have to assume he's going to beat Collignon today. Am I that confident in it? Not really. I always try and think back to the very start of the season, mainly over in Auckland when he come through qualifying and put on a real damn good show over there. Got to the semi-finals, ended up getting beat by Gael Monfils, but he beat Michelsen, Tabilo, Comesana, Daniel Altmaier, Van der Sandschulp. You know, he took a set off Djokovic as well in the Australian Open. Let us not forget that. But ever since, he's really struggled. Really, really struggled indeed on the main draw. Maybe, just maybe, he's going to manage to turn it around today. What is the price? Oh my God, 1.2, 1.25. Oh, bleach my fucking eyes. No way. 1.25. Oh, absolutely not. You know what? I was sitting here thinking, you know, if the price is right, then maybe I'll just take the chest just for the set, given the form, you know, given the circumstances. But 1.25, 1.3, even still, maybe that's just the way this one's gonna go already straight off the bat before a ball's even been hit. Maybe. Like I said, he's looked very impressive through qualifying. Rafael Collignon, he opted to stay on the clay. Hasn't come back to the hard court until today. So this will be the transitional match, and what we've seen in seasons gone by, he ain't really got much of a game on the surface. So I suppose it still would have to be Nishesh or not in that one. But at that price, absolutely not. I wouldn't be touching that as far as a bet goes. And who have we got next? Who's this? This will be a quick one. Navone's playing. I'm not even going to attempt it. His last name's Suresh. I do apologise, but I have no idea how you pronounce his first name there. Let's just call him Suresh. David Suresh. Let's not call him that. Navone and Suresh. I'm kind of being forced to take Mariano Navone in this one. Although I would never really touch this guy on the hard court. Absolutely not. 3-7 this year, 2-7 the year before. 9 wins, 18 losses since 2017 for the Argentine. It's clay or nothing. It is clay or nothing when Navone is involved. His opponents went 12-5 on the hard court. It seems like all he does is play hard court games. He's been playing since 2016. He's went 45-33. That's it. Ain't played a lot of games, this lad. Very intrigued to know why. Where is he? 6'3" in the world. Navone 78. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know a lot about this guy. I've only really seen him coming over to qualifying in the Winston Salem, and he looked alright as well. He didn't look too bad. He beat Tabilo in qualifying, and he beat Aiden Mayo. Mayo, however you want to say that. The American lad. Come through qualifying. Maybe he's in decent form. Navone 1.4 on the hard court? Absolutely not. Not very familiar with the game of the opponents in this one, folks. I apologise, so I will leave that one up to you. And there is a couple more. The order of play on this is all fucked. I do apologise, but that's what the timestamps are for, right? We've got Kopriva, Sebastian Korda. Oh, what is this? These are all either fucking banged out of form or coming back from injuries, aren't they? What is this tournament, man? Now, these have played each other once before, back in the Australian Open last year, and Kopriva actually won that one. It did take 3 sets, and the sets were all over the place as well, like 6-1, 6-2s, 6-2s. but he still got the win. That's all that matters. He could probably beat him today. When was the last time we all seen Sebastian Korda French Open? When he picked up his injury? It's quite some time ago. Look, on the day, even if both can turn up and deliver the best of what they've got, I would pretty much pick Sebastian Korda to beat Vic Kopriva on the hard court the majority of the time. But Vic Kopriva looked fairly decent against Sebastian Offlin, even though Sebastian Offlin has been bang out of form. He kind of shot that match away, but you can't take it away from Kopriva whatsoever. 2.5, he comes into this one as a bit of a dog. I said Sebastian Korda, based on what we know, if he turns up 100% fit, and we know he's 100% fit, he probably gets this one done. But the eye test beats all, does it not? The eye test beats all, and I haven't seen him in what feels like forever, so I'm more than happy to just sit off this one and just see what version of Sebastian Korda turns up. You can get him around 1.5. If you see that as a suitable parlay piece, then be my guest. Go ahead and go for it, but he ain't played any tennis, man. And I just can't sit here and go into this one assuming that Sebastian Korda is 100% and ready to go. Because he just might not be. And even if he is fit, he just may be a little bit rusty. It may take a while for him to get going in this one. With that being said, we could be in for an over Vic Kopriva, although he prefers the clay. He seems to be a bit of a pest over on the hard court. He's a bit difficult to put away. So many times he looks like he's down, but he's most certainly not out. Could be in for an over. We could be in for a decent match in general. Vic Kopriva for the upset. Any takers on that? It's based solely on the fact that I haven't seen Sebastian Korda. I do not know how he's going to hold up or how he's going to look when he turns up today. Lean towards an over. Maybe lean towards an over. Lean towards Vic Kopriva for a set. Once again, it's entirely up to you. I think we've got one or two more. We've got Nuno Borges and Kamil Majchrzak. I think I wouldn't mind going for Kamil Majchrzak. He's a dog in this one, only just. He's coming in as the slightest of dogs, and I don't mind it. I don't mind it whatsoever. Given the form, I mean, we kind of have to, right? We kind of have to. 6 in a row now, coming off the title over on the Challenger Tour. He turned up against Nicholas Jarry and just served him up on a platter. He looked very solid indeed. Nuno Borges, he hasn't really managed to do much since we've returned to the hard court, to say the least. He's went 1-2, and that one win was against Facundo Banhas. Yeah, that's right. Barely got past him as well. It took 3 sets, beat by Casper Ruud, and then I thought he looked a bit shit against Artur Rinderknech over in Cincinnati. Was that just me? Anyone else? I thought he looked a little bit crap. Certainly not what I'd be wanting to see, providing I was looking on taking him today against Kamil Majchrzak, which I'm not. Based on the form, based on what we've seen as of late, I think Majchrzak is a shout in this one. He looked really, really good against Nicholas Jarry, and that's probably not saying that much. Nicholas Jarry, he's been more than beatable this year, I'll give him that. But the pole was super solid, very strong, behind the serve. Given the form, I would like to assume he's good enough to take at least a set off the current version of what I've seen from Nuno Borges anyway. It ain't been that great. Nothing to write home about. And what do I always say about Nuno Borges? Every time. He loves to drop a set. Win or lose, this lad can't help himself. He cannot help himself. I think Majchrzak for a set, I quite like it. As a parlay piece, it's fine enough for me. If there's any takers on that, please do let me know. Make yourself heard. He's playing well. Like we said. What's that now on the hardcore? 14-3 on the surface. Nuno Borges 12-10, 26-24 for the Portuguese, 31-18 for Kamil Majchrzak. They've played each other once before in the Davis Cup 2022. That did go the way of Nuno Borges. You get them around 1.7 in this today. I mean, the price isn't that bad for either one of these. I think Nuno Borges, we could sit here and say, is probably a bit more proven, a bit more battle tested on tour level, especially as of late anyway. The rankings would most certainly suggest that. 38 in the world for Nuno Borges, 88 for Majchrzak. You pay your money, you take your choice, and you pick your poison. I think I would be going with Kamil Majchrzak just to take the one set off Nuno Borges. I mean, he's a dog. He may just beat him. He's in good enough form too. I'd say that. And then, oh look, these two are going to be really quick. We've got Alexander Vukic and Stefan Dostanic, is that? Once again, I won't sit here and pretend that I'm familiar with the game of this guy. 419 in the world. Alexander Vukic, I mean, it's been the same with a few others in this tournament so far. Struggled all season, struggled all year. 19 and 27 to be precise, 9 and 13 on the hard court. Seems to have done pretty much everything, or a lot more than what I've seen from him all season since we've come back to the hard court. You know, Pedro Martinez, Cam Norrie, Casone, and then he's come through qualifying for this one in straight sets. It's most certainly not a lot at all, but it is most definitely more than what I know about his opponent, who seems to be somewhat of a 50-50, even if you could say that. Going back and forth, struggling, win one, lose one, down on the Challenger Tour, and it seems to me that he pretty much resides in and around the Challenger Tour. Vukic is just, you know, given the guy that we've seen this year, it ain't been that promising, especially when it comes to having a bet. It's probably the last guy you want to trust with your cash, am I right? But he probably should be winning this one. I tell you what, given the calibre of opponents as well, you can get Vukic around 1.4. So, if you dare to dream, if you're very brave, 1.4, I suppose I could not talk you out at that one. Absolutely not. And then, there is one more somewhere. Coric, Darwin Blanch. Yeah. How much do I expect from either one of these? I'm not too sure. The American did look decent coming through qualifying. I'll give him that. Valentin Royer and Tristan Boyer. What are the odds? Got yourself the Ryman pair with them two. Coric is on a 3-game losing streak, and that's dating back to the French Open. We spoke about this last time when he played Emilio Nava. It's just not working. I don't know what it is. It comes in flashes. He either plays really good or he plays really shit. Coric is another one of them. The eye test beats all. I need to see him playing good in order to know that he's going to play good. Otherwise, with that being said, I wouldn't be against the young American turning up and pulling off the upset against Coric today. I haven't really paid much attention to Darwin Blanch. I imagine this will be more for the Americans that follow the channel. 29 and 10 on the hard court, decent. That's very good. I'll give him that. I imagine the majority of it, if not all of it, has come on the Challenger Tour. And then 1 and 4 for Coric. Fuck it. Blanch on the spread. Blanch for the set. I don't know. Seen nothing from Coric as of late to suggest he's gonna wow me in this one. So maybe you could make an argument for the dog in this one. I'm not too sure. Like I say, we left that one till last because it's a bit rough. It's not the only one, but I couldn't do any business with that one. Absolutely not, unless it was the dog. So I suppose dog or nothing. And that's going to do us. I think that is going to do us for tonight, folks. Happy days. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for watching the show. Hit that like. Make sure you subscribe before you go as well. I'd appreciate that too. Sad. Very well. Another day in the bag. Each day we creep even closer to that US Open. I am very, very excited for that. But until then, you take it easy, you take care of yourselves, you take care of one another, most importantly. And I'll be seeing you around. Best of luck with whatever you're taking today, however you want to go about it. And I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the matches, folks. See you in a bit.